you've heard this all the time. You have to have multiple streams of income. But not enough people talk about what it actually takes to balance multiple streams. In this video, we're going to talk about how to manage your time effectively to better optimize your productivity in order to balance having a 9-to-5 with a side hustle. Hello beautiful people, my name is Ademu Choyo and I teach you how to get more time, life, and energy out of each day through meaningful and intentional productivity strategies. Whether you're an entrepreneur, freelancer, or working on a passion project, having effective time management skills is really important. And when you're doing all of those things while also balancing a 9-to-5, really having even more effective time management strategies is even more critical. Balancing a side hustle while you also have a full-time job can be really challenging, but it's not impossible. When you have the right strategies, systems, and routines in place, you're able to better manage your time, which will ultimately allow you to do more, which will make balancing both obligations even easier. If you didn't know this about me, I am also a fellow side hustler. I have a full-time job as a software engineer, and I also a content strategist, a content creator on multiple platforms, as well as a Notion consultant and productivity strategist. And I'm able to do all of those things because of the tools and the systems and the routines that I have in place. However, the number one question I get all the time when I'm talking to people about the things that I do is, where do I have the time? And that's where having an effective time management strategy and different time management routines become very imperative in terms of being able to really figure out areas where you can get things done and really just make use of every minute or every moment of your time so you can further along your goals. One of the things that I hear all the time when people talk about running a side hustle while also having a full-time job is they simply just don't have the time in order to do so. And they think that if they were to quit their full-time job, then they would suddenly have all that more time to really focus on their business and really take it to the next level. And this might be controversial, but I think that that is actually a lie. If you don't know how to manage your time with the little time that you do have, you're not going to be able to know how to manage your time when bigger things are going to pop up. And here are some of the different issues that I see with people not managing their time effectively when they're trying to run a business while also working a full-time job. The first thing I see all the time is people don't establish any solid routines. Having routines and systems in place is going to be what allows you to be more efficient and for allow you to make things run smoothly and for allow you to be a little bit more on autopilot so you're able to kind of focus in on what needs to be focusing on without having that decision fatigue of what am I supposed to be doing next. So by establishing some solid systems, some solid routines in terms of when you're going to be working on something or how long you're going to be working on something is going to be really key in terms of better managing your time effectively, especially when you don't have that much time in the first place. The second thing I see all the time is people like to multitask, and people love to brag all the time about how they're such great multitaskers, but the reality of it is most of us really aren't. And we could actually get a lot more done if we really just focus on one thing at a time for, a fixed amount of time, maybe 20, 25, or even 30 minutes, as opposed to trying to do two things over the span of like an hour. And also sometimes people try to do some of their side hustle work while they're also working their full-time job. And if your side hustle is way different than your full-time job, the constant going back and forth isn't really going to help you in terms of better managing your time and really being efficient with the time that you have. So really cut the multitasking down and really just focus on one thing that is going to really just take all of your time, and it'll make things a lot easier as you have more time later on to focus on other things. The third thing I see a lot is people aren't willing to make the sacrifices. So if you really want to run a side hustle and you also have this full-time job, you might have to cut back on certain things. That could look like, not going out with your friends as much on the weekends. That could look like waking up earlier or staying up a little bit later, you have to make that time, and that sometimes looks like you are going to have to cut back on certain things, at least in the initial stages, while you're still getting your feet wet and really just getting started. And the last thing I see all the time is people sometimes lack the patience. Building a business is going to take time, and it's not something that's just going to happen overnight. You have to be willing to put in the work, take it one day at a time, and eventually all of that effort is going to pay off if you stay consistent. Now, I hope I didn't make it seem like running a business while working a full-time job is something that's so easy and anyone can do it, and all you need to do is just wake up a little bit earlier and get more things done throughout your day. Because it really is no small feat. You really have to get clear on what your priorities are and really set the tone and build a business that is going to be sustainable, build a business that really fits within your lifestyle. A lot of times I think people talk a little bit about balance, and I really hate talking about the word balance or saying that you can balance it, because ultimately that implies sometimes that things are equal, when the reality of it is no two things are ever going to be equal within your life. But you do have to find a way to fit it into your life that makes sense and it feels in alignment with what you want for yourself, and it is not impacting any other obligations that you might have going on. If you're really struggling to achieve that balance, here are some tips that I recommend that will help you get clear and really figure out where your side hustle will fit into your life. So the first thing that I will say that you need to do is really establish your priorities and get clear on what your goals are. Having goals that are measurable and actionable that you can keep track of to see how you are measuring is going to be really helpful in terms of really motivating you and really helping you understand what it is that you need to be focusing on and eliminating any distractions that you might have that will take away from what your focus is. I have my goal setting template on Notion that I use all the time to really just plan out and map what it is that I'm clear on and what it is that I want to focus on. And I have different milestones in it so that I'm able to really see how I'm progressing. And honestly, being able to track and really hold myself accountable to the numbers and the metrics that I've set for myself really lets me know what I need to be doing to really keep striving towards building a business that is going to be sustainable and is going to be perfect for me. So definitely getting clear on what your goals are, what your priorities are, and eliminating any of the distractions that you're gonna have is gonna be really key in terms of finding that balance between running a business and working a full-time job. The second thing is you need to create a schedule and you actually have to stick to it. So maybe you pick Tuesday evenings as your day to work on your business. That means every Tuesday, you're not going out with your friends, you're not doing anything else. You are really heads down, focused on what it is that you need to be focusing on to really build your business. And it may seem like you maybe only have like an hour a week, but eventually maybe you'll find that you have 2 hours in a week, or you'll have a whole day where you can focus on just your business. But you really need to figure out what in a week view is going to be your schedule and where can you find the time to actually put in the work needed in order to grow and build your business outside of all of the other obligations that you may have. Before I dive into some tips on how to really better manage running a business while also working a full-time job, I really want to know from you in the comments down below, what is your side hustle and what do you think is really holding you back from really managing both? So as I said before, for about almost a decade now, I've had some sort of side hustle or side business or a passion project that I've been working on, well, in addition to having a full-time job. And that honestly hasn't always been easy. There's sometimes I get really stressed out. There's sometimes that I feel like I'm burning the candle at both ends. And sometimes I just really don't feel like doing anything and I feel really unmotivated. And while right now isn't the time for me to necessarily step out and, run my business full time, there are a couple things that I have found that have been really, really helpful for me to better manage my business while also working a full-time job, and I'm going to share them with you. The number one tip I have, which might seem counterintuitive, is don't make your side hustle the same thing as your 9 to 5. And the reason why I say this is because I think having a really good separation between the two of them is going to be a little bit easier on your mind, and it'll actually give yourself a little bit of a break. For me, if I was also developing and writing code in my side hustle in addition to developing software and writing code in my full-time job, I feel like I would lose my mind because I would just be so burnt out and I would constantly be kind of in a specific mode. And I think side hustles are a lot more sustainable and a lot more enjoyable when they offer a little bit of a different thing and they can really adhere to some of your other passions and something else that you're actually really interested in. The second thing that I do is I'm really picky about the people that I work with. So because I have a full-time job in addition to running a business, that means that I can really focus on growing in a way that feels the most aligned to me without sacrificing my integrity or sacrificing the kind of quality of work that I want to have. And so if I don't really feel aligned to the people who are inquiring about me, I will let them know, like, hey, I don't think that we're a good fit. I don't try to take on everyone because I know that I'm not for everyone and I don't want to be for everyone, and you shouldn't want to be for everyone either. So getting clear about who your target audience is, what your niche is, the kind of people you want to serve through your business, whether it's a service-based business or a product-based business, is really going to be key, because you don't want to be focusing on people that you had no business working with in the first place. And because you have this side business and it is not the number one source of your income, you do have that flexibility and the freedom to be able to do it. So definitely be picky. And, making sure that you're really clear on the type of people that you want to serve is going to be key. The third thing is you got to be okay with having some slow growth. Like, you are not 100% fully dedicated to it, and you can't compare yourself to people who have the full teams and are 100% dedicated all the time to their business. You will get there one day. You will be at a point where that is the thing that you can focus on. But right now, you're not there yet, or you might not be there yet. And that's okay. Everyone's journey is different. Everyone has their own race to run. But be okay with running your race and making sure that you're being intentional, you're staying focused, you're taking it one day at a time to really build the business of your dreams, no matter how long it's going to take you. Because you never know, you just might have that point where you get your big break, but at least you put in that work to make it sustainable in a way that feels really good to you, in a way that allows you to continue to grow more meaningfully and more fulfilled. And my last tip is automate. If you can auto schedule something, if you can, take something and make it easier or more efficient, do it. Do it. There is not enough time. You don't have enough time in order to manually do everything. So that could look like scheduling posts ahead of time, creating different automations using Zapier or Airtable so that you're communicating with people in the time that you need to communicate. Just automate what you can and create systems that allow you to flow a lot easier and a lot more simpler. Some of the tools that I recommend for that are Dubsado, Loom, Notion, Slack, QuickBooks. Basically anything that you might need that allows you to run your business in a real and sustainable way. There is probably an app for it, so go look, find the right tools for you, and make sure that it is allowing you to improve your efficiency on the things that you need to do and not slowing you down. When you have good time management strategies and you have solid systems and routines, running a business while working a full-time job becomes a breeze and becomes something that you continue to grow and build and evolve as you continue to grow and build and evolve as well. If you need some help really getting clear on what your goals are, I highly recommend you grab my free Notion goals and habits tracker template. And if you want to get more organized with your business, then I recommend you grab my online business hub template. I guarantee that those will help you take things to the next level. Thanks so much for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content like this, and let me know in the comments down below what your side hustle is and what do you think is really holding you back from being able to manage both a side hustle and a full-time job. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.